What's up, YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube here, and this is going to be a good one because it addresses an issue I think that a lot of people are kind of questionable about, and it involves the economy, okay? So the economy, what is going to happen to these cards, these commodities, these Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, all of these collectible cards? What is going to happen to them when this economy that's been on a somewhat upward trend kind of falls flat, okay? What if another situation happens and occurs like the recession of 2008 and the housing bubble and the housing crisis and when the banks were bailed out, all that good stuff? I could make a video on that for a good hour, but we're not going to get into that, okay? But the main issue is the economy's been relatively stable, somewhat stable, on an uptrend the last couple, 2-3 years now. And people are saying, well, this is the reason. Okay, this is the reason why these Yu-Gi-Oh cards are getting so outrageously priced. I mean, these Yu-Gi-Oh cards, if the economy wasn't like this, forget about it. So, if you're investing into these cards and you're buying and selling these Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you think long-term holds, everybody, this card is a can't miss, it's going to keep going up. You know, the population's low, it's very rare, and there's no way it could go down. And then you have the other side of the coin. A lot of the people saying, well, if the economy tanks, if we have another recession or even a depression, these cards are going to plummet. Absolutely plummet. So what's the real deal here? Well, I'm not an economist. I can't tell you 100% what would happen if the economy were to obviously go into a recession. And a lot of people think it will eventually, because we've been on this nice little groove, and a lot of people think the economy is kind of just going to start to slowly but surely decline, right? Based on whatever factors that may be, whatever you believe in, okay? Whether it be socio or political, whatever it might be. A lot of people think the natural tendency of an economy will go right to an equilibrium. Okay, so we'll see spikes down, up, down, and eventually, overall, it's going to stay at that main line because we've been seeing it for so long now, and it's kind of been happening. So what happens when this economy goes down? Because inevitably, what's up must come down. I mean, the economy's never going to continue to keep going up. I mean, that's absolutely asinine to think such a thing. So what's going to happen to these cards? Right? What's going to happen to these trading cards? What's going to happen to these Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering cards? Well, here's my take on it. My take on it is don't worry. Don't worry. You know? Don't worry at all, actually. And a lot of people think, whoa, 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 you're crazy. You're crazy. Now, am I saying that there's not a risk? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. By holding these cards, there's still a multitude of risks that you're taking here, okay? Whether it be in Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Magic. There are plenty of risks out there. There's counterfeiting risks. There's technological risks. There's grading processes risks. There's so many things. But I think the biggest one, obviously, would be the technological advances in counterfeiting, especially because the card, in the end, is just cardboard and foil, right? Long term, because technology can get that good, I think, down the line, long term. But we're getting off track here. I think overall, these cards will provide better returns and better margins than the stock market will. I mean, it's that simple, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years, and I have seen so many bigger, much better returns, margins, on these cards, on these cardboard cards, collectible trading cards, than I have in the stock market. And I've dabbled in it. I've dabbled in the stock market. I did not dabble in Bitcoin. I did not do Bitcoin. I never got on that train, and I'm kind of happy I never did, because I feel like if I would have got on that train and held long term, you know, I would have been kind of dead. Nonetheless, here, economically, will there be an effect on Yu-Gi-Oh cards if the economy goes into a recession? Absolutely. Absolutely. To say it won't is just crazy. It's crazy talk. It's absolutely crazy talk. But to say that these cards will really dip in value / plummet, I think it's an over-exaggeration. I do. And you say, Tim, why? You know, all these people that have all these cards and invested into all these cards, they're going to want to sell them because they're going to have little money, little cash, because we're in a recession. Everyone's got a lot less cash than when it started, you know. So why? Why would cards not dip like stocks would? You know, why would cards not just plummet like stocks? Well, the answer is easy. Because cards are commodities. At the end of the day, they're physical asset commodities. Okay? There are diamonds. There is gold. Neither gets affected by the economy. Why? Tim, why do diamonds? Why does gold always hold its value? I mean, what is gold? I mean, well, the main draw about gold is it looks pretty. It looks nice. It's perceived value. Now, if someone were to say over time, if there was a group thinking that said that this gold and shininess of gold and the sparkle of a diamond wasn't really worth that much, and it kind of stirred this cultural thinking of, wow, you know, you're kind of right to spend $10,000 on a piece of a necklace or a bracelet. That's kind of true, right? Because what is gold if not a rare, beautiful looking commodity? What is art, right? What is art? Art is a simple piece. You put it on a wall, you put it in your home, and it's a one of a kind. It's rare. Art is rare, right? But more importantly, art looks good. Art is status. Gold and diamonds are status. They're great. And here's what Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic have. They have not only the rarity aspect, because X amount of cards were ultimately produced, and in certain conditions, almost minuscule odds to find, right, in gem mint conditions, but also they are a piece of art, and they are also in the hands of people that collect them as a hobby. Okay, because I buy and sell and invest and trade and buy and everything like that with Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, I still have a nice collection because I am also a collector, right? This also carries an emotional value that gold and diamonds don't really carry. I mean, it can. If gold and diamonds were a gift from someone that passed away that someone else has and they're never going to get rid of it, then yes, it does have an emotional value that someone would never sell. But what cards provide are emotional hobby values, as well as a piece of art, as well as a rare piece of art. Okay, because again, we look at cards, and you couldn't tell me, the population of a Charizard first edition PSA 10 is what, just over 100? So only 100 collectors in the world, or even investors, have that card, right? And nobody else can have it. And the people buying this stuff, let's keep in mind, okay, the people buying this stuff, spending $40,000 on a Pokemon first edition Charizard trading card, the people buying this stuff have money. They already have money. They're buying it either to have in their collections because they have deep, deep pockets and they can afford that, or they're buying it as an investment standpoint. Nothing in between, right? With stocks, you know, as these companies struggle, stocks ultimately fall as the companies you buy into. With cards, what's out there is out there. Okay? So will there be a drop? Yeah, there should be a drop. I mean, you look at the recession of 2008. We look at the housing bubble. What happened there? Cardboard dipped a little bit. There was a marginal dip in the recession, but was it near the magnitude of the stock market? Oh, absolutely not. And I'm not bashing the stock market. I'm saying if you know, your stuff in the stock market, if you could read financials, if you could take statistics, take numbers, and utilize all this information that you gather and these ratios you gather and put together a solid analysis of why a company will or will not fail, or will thrive or will fail eventually, good for you. I mean, then you are well-versed and well-knowledged in that space, right? So you deserve all the money that comes to you. And it's like me. I research cards all the time. If you just say, okay, I'm going to buy this Yu-Gi-Oh card just because, or buy this Pokemon card because everyone says something, don't even listen to me. I mean, I do my research, right? And I'll give advice and tips, and I think most of the stuff that I've said has happened. But it's ultimately up to you. I mean, you can't have someone tell you what to buy or sell. You have to put in that knowledge, right? So that knowledge is invaluable. And what I'm saying here is, going back on the economy and the economic aspect of this, the economy could tank. Cards will probably dip a little bit, but they will not dip nearly as much as stocks will, because cards are a collectible. There is an emotional attachment. It is a rare piece of art, especially the really high-end cards. In an economic downturn, you'll probably see the biggest drops from the mid to low end cards. Like, the $1 cards up to the $20, $50, even $100 cards, you'll see drops, right? Nothing like the stock market, but you'll see drops. But with those rare collectibles, with the Black Lotuses, with the Charizards, with the Blue Eyes White Dragons, you're not going to see that kind of drop. You're not, because they're just so rare and collectible, and the people that have them have money already to put into them. Okay? And it's that simple. And everyone knows that. And at the end of the day, people still want that rare piece of art. Just because there's a recession, that doesn't mean, Van Gogh's painting is going to get any cheaper. It's a one-of-a-kind, right? I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind painting. It's a rare piece of art. That doesn't mean that gold is going to plummet, because gold, everyone still wants gold. Everybody still wants gold, and there's not a ton of it out there. It's rare, and it looks good. And in Yu-Gi-Oh! And in Pokemon, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! And in Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, what you're buying here is a collectible, because of a hobby, and it is a rare piece of art. That's exactly what it is. You're buying cardboard. People are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on cardboard. It is a commodity, and commodities are the number one thing that don't tank in a depression or in a recession. Stocks do. Commodities don't. Am I saying don't dabble in the stock market? Absolutely not. Am I saying don't put it into bonds? Absolutely not, because bonds are actually really safe, but they don't give you the return you want overall. But they're not a bad, source of income. I'm just saying the over-exaggeration here is huge when I hear about an economic dip potentially. Yeah, there could be a dip, and there could be a dip in the cards, right? There will be in a recession, but it's going to be nowhere near. And we've seen that happen in 2008. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Were you there in 2008? Did you have a big collection in 2008? What happened to your cards? What happened to the value of your cards? What kind of cards did you have? Did you have those super expensive cards in 2008 when the economy crashed? Did you have those mid to low end cards that probably took a bigger hit? What do you see? Let me know. And again, the uprise of an economy is also very good for the cards, because people do have that extra money, the disposable income, to spend on cards, right? Because money is flowing in an active economy. So that is good, and it's absolutely expediting the process of these valuations, which are absolutely through the roof. But what I'm saying is, don't expect the end of the world when there's a recession or depression for your collection. There will be a dip, but don't expect the same magnitude of an economic crash in the stock market. With that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube signing out. Let me know if you were available, if you were collecting during 2008, 2007 for the recession. I'm interested to know. I was there. I saw it happen. I went through it, and it was, it was very, very tough time. So let me know, everybody. Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube signing out. Until next time.